Today we're going to be making southern fried chicken fingers. I used to work at a bar in Auburn, Alabama called the Strut and Duck, and we used to make these from scratch all the time, put them in the deep fryer. So I'm not going to use that recipe because all it was really just flour and salt and pepper. And that was basically it. But I got a better recipe, and this is also going to be gluten-free. So we're going to brine these overnight in some buttermilk, and I'm going to season this, and we're going to put it in the buttermilk and put it in the fridge for overnight, and then tomorrow night we'll be deep frying them for dinner. So let's go ahead and get started. So we got our boneless chicken breasts cut up into strips. You can even buy chicken tenders at the supermarket or to cut up, but I just get the boneless, skinless chicken breasts and I just slice them myself. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to season these. And I got some, you could use any seasoning you want, but I got Montreal chicken seasoning. I like that a lot. So let's go ahead and season this chicken up with this. Boop, 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 boop. And then I got some Bayou Cajun seasoning. So I'll just use those two. Those have all the herbs and spices and salt and pepper and everything that I really need. And really, when you make the chicken flour, you could just use like these two things, and you got more than 11 herbs and spices just out of these. But we're going to be making it special. We're going to be making a special one, so we'll have more than this in the flour. All right, so this is all here. You know, you could just mix it up a little bit. Doesn't make a difference because I'm going to put it in here and I'm going to mix it up in there too. So let's go ahead and set that aside. And I got my buttermilk. So let's go ahead and put the buttermilk in here. Always make sure you shake up your buttermilk because sometimes the thick stuff's at the bottom. All right, see how that's thicker? There you go. I'm going to use the whole thing of buttermilk. And then I like to add to my buttermilk, I like to add some hot sauce. And I like this Tabasco, is nice southern Tabasco sriracha. It's got garlic and sugar in it, along with the pepper and fermented peppers and a nice taste to it. So you just put, basically it's the flavor. You put as much as you want in there. And then I like to use Zatarain's Creole mustard. So let's go ahead once again. These are rebrining, so there isn't. You just want to make sure you got enough that it gives a nice flavor. All right. So here's my buttermilk with some vinegary Creole mustard and some vinegary Tabasco sriracha. It gives it some nice flavor, and here it is. Here is my brine. Wonderful brine. Now, like I said, I got this, maybe it's unevenly seasoned, but now I'm going to put the seasoned chicken in here. And I'll have to go with my hands with a second and start mixing this all up. And like I said, you don't really need to mix it on the board because you're going to mix it in the bowl. See if there's any extra seasoning we can put in there so we don't waste it. And now we're going to go ahead and mix it. Make sure that we get this buttermilk marinade on all corners of this chicken. We want it to be brined. We want every nook and cranny of this chicken to start getting brined by all this delicious mustardy hot sauce buttermilk. And there you go. So this is done. You're gonna put this in the fridge. Let it sit for one day, you know, like 5 hours, 4 hours. The longer it sits, the more the buttermilk works into the edge of the chicken, and the better your chicken breading fry is going to be when you deep fry it. The flour is going to stick better to that part of the chicken. So all this chicken is submerged in my seasoned buttermilk brine. I'm going to put the top on this and put it in the fridge, and then we'll be back tomorrow night to enjoy some fried chicken fingers. Okay, it's the next day, and now we're going to put together our flour for our fried chicken fingers. Alright, so the first thing is going to use 3 flours. I'm going to use this measure for measure flour. That's pretty good. It's got rice flour, brown rice flour, potato starch, stuff like that. Alright, so this is what I used to use when I made fried chicken. I would just use this by itself. But there's 1 cup of measure for measure gluten-free flour. But then I learned that there is a gluten-free King Arthur brand bread flour, and this has in it gluten-free wheat, cornstarch, you know, other stuff, a bunch of other pea protein, a bunch of other stuff. So I'm going to add a cup of that. There we go. So we got a nice mixture of our gluten-free bread flour and our gluten-free measure for measure flour. And I'm going to put in a cup of corn flour. I love the flavor. You know, it gives it a good crunch, gives it good flavor. It gives it a nice golden color when you fry your chicken. Alright, so that's with the, just use a measure for measure. A lot of times there'd be like a pasty white part. Even though it tasted good, it's fine. But this corn flour makes great great crunch and great color for the gluten-free flours. All right, now for the spices, move these flours out of here. I'm gonna add a lot of spices. All right, so I went on the internet, and first of all, these are the main spices. So what do I have here? I have a tablespoon of Montreal chicken seasoning. I have a tablespoon of Cajun seasoning. I have a tablespoon of Goya Sazonador Total. And then I have a half tablespoon of Poultry seasoning, a half tablespoon, you don't have to, I used to always have like a tablespoon of Italian seasoning. I mix it, this is a half tablespoon of this Italian seasoning, and then I got this spicy Italian seasoning. It's got hot peppers in it, and garlic powder, garlic salt, onions, garlic, all types of things in it. So, so it's half tablespoon of this and a half tablespoon of that. Adds nice flavor. Now I don't have to add just the regular salt in here because I have the Montreal seasoning, I have celery salt, I have this Cajun seasoning. So let's go ahead and just add this. Alright, so this seasoning that I just added, that's all you really need for really good. I mean, actually all you need is like the Montreal seasoning and maybe some Cajun seasoning, and that'll give you an awesome fry flavor. But doing research on KFC, 11 herbs and spice and all the rest of it, I'm going to add a bunch of these spices. So I got a 1 teaspoon of ground ginger. I got 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. I have 1 teaspoon of onion powder. I have 1 teaspoon of ground mustard. I have 1 teaspoon of celery salt. I have 1 teaspoon of black pepper ground. I have a half teaspoon of ground thyme, and I have a half teaspoon of ground oregano. And then I have 2 teaspoons of ground white pepper, and I have 3 teaspoons of smoked paprika, And I have 1 teaspoon of Chipotle, smoked jalapeno Chipotle. So here's all those spices. I'm going to put all those in there. Oh my goodness. And now we can mix this all up. And we have our seasoned flour. So let me get rid of this. And I'm going to show you something. I like these containers because I can close this up. And then mix it, shake it up. Shake, 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 shake. Shake it up. Shake it up. All right. So here is our seasoned flour, gluten-free. And you give it a little taste. Make sure it's not too salty. That's perfect. Perfect seasoning in there. It's really good. So there's my seasoned fry flour. Get rid of all these things. Alright, so here's my chicken that has been brining in a buttermilk, Tabasco sriracha, and Zatarain's Creole mustard mix with seasoning in there. Okay, so get my chicken, go ahead and lay it out there, and then pat this in. Work in my seasoning. Make sure it's coated really good. And then I'm going to lay this out and let it sit on this rack while I do this. But then I'm still going to let them sit there so that the seasoned flour adheres to the chicken. Okay. All right, we're outside frying up our chicken. I got my fryer set at 340 degrees. Look at how nice and crispy this chicken looks. Oh, it's too hot for me to bite into. Look at this one. Oh, look how good that is. This is gluten-free. Remember, this is gluten-free, and it is sensational. All right. So I got to show you this. Put this back in there. I let this sit for about an hour, and I don't know if you can tell, but it gets all mushy. It gets moist, the breading. So I got a box of that flour, and I'm gonna take this out, and I shake it up, and it's almost like a second coating. Shake it off. So you could probably see the color difference between these two pieces of chicken. This one's moist, and this one I just refloured. Put that in there. Drop it away from yourself. Shake this one in, and then put that in too. Alright. Put this on 5 minutes. Cover it up. And then I just come back when it dings. And I get my piece of fried chicken. Let's see how this is here. I can just take this little piece off and tell you. This is still a little hot to touch, but there's this little corner piece right here. I'm gonna eat this. Mmm. That tastes phenomenal. Delicious. You just go ahead and put your favorite dipping sauce on it if you want a little dip. You know, Chick-fil-A, one of my favorites is Sale's Sassy Sauce. And these chicken wing fingers are ready to be eaten. They're delicious. You gotta make them, they're yummy.